Dentalones comes from dentil, like dentist. And these glue the top of the guitar to the sides. So I'll show you in a couple minutes here that process as to how the top is positioned and the sides go onto the top, and then how the dentalones.
How many of those do you need to go around?
Oh gosh, there's maybe 100 of these in a guitar.
Wow.
But these are, as I said, cut in much the same fashion as the back lining. These are run on the shaper to cut the cove in them, and then are cross-cut on the table saw jig. I use Gaboon ebony on all my necks, and it comes from Africa. It is extremely expensive. In terms of board foot price, we would consider an expensive piece of hardwood nowadays to cost maybe between $15 and $20 per board foot. I pay between $85 and $90 per board foot for ebony. So I actually purchased this ebony in a large log or billet form, and then mill it down into these fretboards, and then also into smaller pieces for binding and also for end graft and in the various veneers that I'll use within the guitar. The back actually is ebony binding with a thin maple purfling within it. The back and sides of this guitar are Honduras rosewood.
Oh, rosewood.
Mm-hmm. Back in the I would say 40s and 50s, when luthiers were unable to get a hold of or couldn't afford to purchase Brazilian rosewood, Honduras rosewood actually was a very close second and was extremely desirable, and to this day is used by many luthiers, not only for its beauty but for its tonal quality. This is a Western red cedar top.
And that's a little bit, that top would be a little bit warmer sounding than like a spruce top, because the cedar's a little softer, a little mellower.
It is softer and mellower. And I do on occasion use redwood. I have a nice supply of redwood that I hand-picked out of Northern California several years ago. And redwood is tonally, I would say, in between cedar and spruce. These bridges that you see are actually milled from a rough blank. And this is Madagascar rosewood. For my bridges, I use both Madagascar and Brazilian rosewood. The tie block on top of the bridge is actually a sequence of veneers that I mill down. The center being mesquite, then I use a Canary Island pine, a Paduke maple, and an ebony.
It's a great little detail there.
The tie block is banded on both sides with bone. Cowbone is used typically nowadays in the tie block, the saddle, and the nut of the guitar. And all these parts are also purchased in blank form, and then I have to mill them down, notch them accordingly, and set the action up on the guitar with it. The tuning machines on this guitar are extremely high quality Japanese tuning machine. They're made by a Goto company. The tuning machines that I use are an Arcángel Fernandez model, which are exclusive to my guitars. These are something that other luthiers are not able to get a hold of and use. This model actually came into existence recently and has gold in the rollers. This is extremely high quality, and the fit and finish and the machining of these tuners is extremely precise. I have put these up against a very expensive German tuning machine and have found the fit and finish and sizing of these Gotos to be much more precise than the German. So this is what I choose as a standard tuning machine on all my guitars. This is also a piece of Honduras rosewood that I have book matched. I typically use my headpiece veneers over an underlying veneer. In this guitar, I have a piece of ebony underneath the rosewood, and those two are called a veneer sandwich, and then are glued onto the mahogany head.
Wow, so you have ebony and in the middle?
Ebony in the middle, rosewood on top, and then the mahogany underneath.
That's nice.
And the crest of the headpiece is my own design. Here I have another one of my guitars. This is also a Western red cedar top. We have a different tie block veneer on this one, which actually is maple ebony with an ebony diamond inlay. The back and sides of this guitar are Madagascar rosewood. Due to the unavailability of Brazilian rosewood nowadays, this really has become what luthiers consider to be next best. Madagascar rosewood is very close to Brazilian, and oftentimes is you're unable to distinguish actually between the two. This, compared to the other rosewoods that I've shown you, you can see has more red in it, but oftentimes Brazilian will have red in it, and this Madagascar could also have tones of brown that the Brazilian will have. So the two are actually very, very close, but it's an extremely beautiful wood and exhibits great tonal properties also. The rosette on this guitar is different. I don't build many of these anymore, but this has a burl redwood ring in the rosette, and then it has the veneer rings outside and inside of it. People can get a hold of me through my website, David, www.hellerguitars.com. It has pricing, all the contact information. You can call me on the phone. You can email me, Thomas at hellerguitars.com.